Unlock miraculous magnetic energy, divine manifestation of wealth, love and abundance in 40 days. In a bustling urban community where faith flourished, the church bell rang out, a call to the heart. Every Sunday, it signaled a gathering of souls, the warmth of smiles greeting each devotee, scents of coffee mingling with the uplifting hymns. But for Sarah, a devoted single mother in her early 30s, every day was a challenge. She wrestled with financial burdens that clung to her like shadows, casting doubt upon her meager existence. Yet every night, she knelt beside her bed, hands clasped, praying fervently to St. Jude, the saint of lost causes, seeking a miracle to ignite her weary heart. Then came the whispers of a 40-day prayer challenge. Unlock the magnetic energy of your faith, a visiting pastor proclaimed, his voice carrying through the congregation, crackling with divine electricity. Manifest true wealth and love. Those words resonated with a truth that made Sarah's heart race. Could this be the sign she was praying for? Could the weight of her burdens ease? She hesitated but then decided to join the challenge, feeling a flicker of hope spark within. As she committed, extraordinary things began to unfold. During nightly prayers, Sarah felt a serene warmth envelop her, illuminating her dark thoughts. A neighbor she barely knew, Mary, shared how her late husband had left her a hidden fortune. Abundant love had manifested through divine surprises. Sarah listened, feeling the steadfast belief woven into Mary's words. Could it happen for her too? Days turned into weeks, and with each prayer the community united, bringing food, sharing laughter, and brightening dreary days. But in her personal life, tensions simmered. Bills piled high, affecting even her most cherished relationships. Doubts surged, threatening her newfound faith. The pastor's earlier words seemed a distant echo. Then the storm struck. Her son, Oliver, fell gravely ill, a sudden wave sweeping him into darkness. The doctor's grave expressions pierced her heart. Days passed like a long night, and it felt as if hope was slipping through her fingers. In those moments of despair, she could barely utter her nightly prayers, but she held fast, eyes streaming tears of desperation. Her faith felt shaky at best. Just as the weight of despair crept ever heavier, a breakthrough illuminated the horizon. One evening, Oliver opened his eyes, smiling faintly as if kissed by the divine. The recovery was nothing short of miraculous. It was as if God had reached down, wrapping Oliver in grace. "Mommy," he exclaimed, his laughter echoing like the sweetest hymn that made her heart burst. "Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Renewed determination surged within her. The church needed to gather again, this time not just for Sarah, but to allow faith an even greater role in their lives. Under the church's warm glow, she stood before her church family and poured her heart out, beseeching them to come together in prayer for love, unity, and miracles yet unseen. As she prayed fervently, hope froze the air. What could manifest? Would they witness a collective breakthrough, unlocking the very keys they so desperately sought? With that powerful moment in the air, questions flooded Sarah's heart. Could faith truly break the chains of despair? As the gathered souls lifted their voices in one last prayer, an electric tension filled the sanctuary. The hand of divine intervention seemed upon them all, waiting just out of reach as the promise of miracles danced like stars on the horizon, leaving everyone breathlessly anticipating the changes ahead. The days turned into a tapestry of joy and gratitude, woven together by the threads of hope that had sparked within the congregation. Sarah found herself emboldened by the warmth of her church family. They visited often, leaving her with meals and hugs, reminding her of the light that dwelled even in the darkest moments. The rhythmic chime of the church bell felt like a heartbeat of collective faith, a sign that every prayer mattered. As the 40-day prayer challenge continued, Sarah transformed her nightly supplications into vibrant declarations. She no longer simply asked, she proclaimed abundance, love, and prosperity through fervent cheer. "Let the magnetic energy of faith attract what we need," she would whisper, trying to share this inspiration with Oliver, whose laughter echoed like a joyous melody throughout their home. She encouraged him to join in, and soon they were praying together, hearts united in hope. One evening, while preparing dinner, Oliver timidly approached her. "Mommy, do you really think God can make our wishes come true?" His eyes sparkled with innocence, a flicker of something extraordinary glimmering within. Sarah knelt to meet his gaze. "Sweetheart, faith is powerful. It's not just believing, it's knowing that God has greatness planned for us." They clasped hands, warmth passing between them, wrapping around them like an intimate embrace of divine possibility. That Sunday, the church was more vibrant than ever. Passionate voices raised in unison, filled with energy that was palpable. The pastor stood before them, ignited by the Spirit. "God wants to do remarkable things," he declared, glancing around the room. "Are you ready to receive?" As if responding to a command, the congregation responded with fervor, a chorus of "Amen" reverberating through the sanctuary. Suddenly the pastor's voice softened. "I sense there are people here who have been praying, not just for themselves, but for others." His gaze fell on Sarah and Oliver. Inside, the air almost shimmered, and she felt the eyes of the community upon them, supportive, hopeful. It was a moment of connection, and anxiety wrapped tightly around her heart began to loosen. Caught up in the fervor, Sarah raised her hand. "We believe in miracles," she exclaimed, her voice steady, unwavering. The pastor nodded, and the congregation echoed her words, a wave of belief crashing across the pews. With each shout of affirmation, chains of doubt broke away, realigning hearts, minds, and souls toward a shared vision of hope. As the service drew to a close, the pastor invited everyone to form a circle, hands clasped together, hearts entwined for one final prayer. The room shimmered with a tangible energy, whispers of faith spiraling upward like an unending prayer. It was electric. Sarah could feel it coursing through her veins, a divine current infusing her very being with life. Then, a stunning silence fell. In that quiet moment, she closed her eyes and opened her spiritual heart to the divine plan unfolding. "What more awaits us?" she thought, smile warming her face as an image of the future flickered to life. "Something glorious is just around the corner." As the last "Amen" rolled off the congregation's lips, a new sense of purpose filled the air, a belief that the impossible was truly possible. What could manifest next in this vibrant tapestry of faith? With her heart alight, Sarah looked towards the unknown, an open door leading to uncharted territories of abundance and love, eager to embrace whatever divine surprises awaited her. What seeds of faith might be sown in the coming days? Would their dreams blossom into reality? Or were they merely the echoes of distant whispers waiting to be called forth? The week that followed surged with renewed enthusiasm. Each morning began with a prayer filled with hope as sunlight streamed through the windows like blessings pouring into their home. Sarah and Oliver would gather at the breakfast table, hands joined, voices ringing, proclaiming their dreams for the future. It was a ritual that felt sacred, each word spun with intention, a soft certainty stirring within their hearts. On one particularly crisp morning, as the leaves danced with the wind outside, a knock resounded at the door. Sarah opened it to find Mrs. Daniels, a beloved member of their church, standing there, her eyes bright and her hands clasped tightly around a colorful basket. "I thought you might need a little sunshine today," she declared, stepping inside as if she carried warmth itself. Oliver's eyes widened with delight at the sight of fruits and goodies. "Wow, thank you, Mrs. Daniels," he exclaimed, his joy spilling over. Sarah accepted the basket, a smile gracing her face, but a deeper current of gratitude ran through her. It was a small gesture, yet within it lay the reminder that the essence of community nestled within each act of kindness, reinforcing their faith journey. Later that day, as they returned from a trip to the park, Oliver clutched a small shiny stone he'd found. "Look, Mommy, a treasure!" He held it up, eyes sparkling like stars. There it was, a simple stone yet filled with possibilities, a tangible representation of their faith. "Yes, my love, just like our hopes, it's precious." That evening, Sarah felt a stirring, an urge rising from within. Tapping into her newfound connection, she penned her dreams on a piece of vibrant paper. a home filled with laughter, a flourishing garden, and secure futures. As she wrote, words transformed into prayers, carrying out her desires to the heavens. Unbeknownst to her, at that very moment, a letter lay in the church office addressed to her. The pastor had shared their story during a prayer circle, sparking a wave of compassion. A family, moved by their struggles, had offered an opportunity for Sarah, a chance to fill a part-time position at the community center, a place where love and service flourished. Days passed, and the world around them thrummed with unseen energy. The church bell chimed, not only with time, but echoed the heartbeat of miracles preparing to unfold. On a Saturday filled with expectation, Sarah finally found the courage to reach for the opportunity laid before her. As she stepped through the doors of the community center, intrigued faces greeted her, filled with the same sparkling energy she had felt so many times before in the congregation. "Welcome, Sarah," greeted Lisa, the center's coordinator. "We've been waiting for you." In that moment, Sarah felt what she had spoken into existence hanging palpably in the air, an open door. Gratitude welled within her as she realized that oftentimes the seeds of abundance were sown in ways she least expected. With Oliver by her side, they shared in the fragrance of possibilities that surrounded them, igniting a newfound momentum in their spirits. They prayed and declared their intentions, spinning dreams like a web, connecting with the faith and love around them. "Mommy, do you think God will keep helping us?" Oliver asked with wonder as they returned home, the night sky a canvas of stars. "Absolutely, sweetheart. Just like this beautiful sky is full of stars, God's plans for us are infinite," Sarah answered, her heart swelling with assurance. With their paths illuminated, Sarah pondered, "But what other surprises await us just beyond the horizon?" A ripple of anticipation coursed through her. Could this be the moment where seeds of faith sprouted into the miraculous? The possibilities felt endless, as if the universe was ready to respond to the collective heartbeat of their hopes. What grand revelations might unfold as they leaned deeper into the magnetic energy of faith? What miraculous transformations lay ahead on their journey? The days that followed brought a gentle yet powerful shift. A sweet wind blew through their lives, carrying whispers of hope and stirring their hearts. Sarah dove into her role at the community center, and with every interaction, she felt her spirit weaving perfectly into the fabric of the vibrant community around her. Each child she helped filled her with purpose. Each smile exchanged echoed back the light they shared. Oliver took to the center with abandonment. He embraced the new friends he made, rallying around the games and activities. His laughter rang clear and pure like a bell, drawing others to him. One afternoon, as the sun dipped low, casting golden rays through the trees, Sarah sat at a small table with several children. They were crafting, each of them decorating paper leaves to represent their hopes. "What are you thinking about, Oliver?" she asked, feeling a warmth swell in her chest. He beamed and declared, "I hope we can have a big garden with all the colors." The honesty of his wishes reminded her of the simple yet profound aspirations that spring from the heart. As they left that day, Sarah felt a deep sense of connection to those around her. She felt fulfilled, yet a tug of yearning still lingered. Peering into the horizon, she wondered, what more is God preparing for us? The answer came sooner than she expected. One evening, as she was sorting through the center's donations, she found a mysterious envelope tucked behind some boxes. Curious, she opened it to discover a note inside. It was a letter of encouragement from someone in the community. The words were full of faith, love, and promises of support, accompanied by a small yet substantial gift. It wasn't about the money, it was the resounding message that she was not alone, that they were all in this together. "Mommy, you look happy," Oliver called out as he entered the room, muddy from playing outside. "Yes, sweetheart, I received some lovely words today." She brushed a hand through her hair and knelt to his level. "It's like when we pray together. Sometimes we can't see the blessings, but they are surrounding us like friends." Later, as they prepared for bed, Sarah felt a new heaviness in her spirit, stirring something deep within. She took a moment, kneeling beside Oliver's bed, clasping her hands together in prayer. "Lord, thank you for these gifts. Please open our eyes to see all the blessings you have for us. We trust in your divine plan." That night, as sleep began to settle over them, she whispered to Oliver, "Always remember, faith is like a treasure. The more we seek it, the more we find. But just as she turned off the light, a thought struck her. What if they truly unlocked the depth of their faith? What miracles could blossom if they fully embraced the energy pulsing around them? She would ponder that through the gentle night. Days transformed into a pattern, each filled with charm and wonder. But Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something greater lay ahead. A whisper in her heart grew louder, inspiring her to reach even further. What deeper mysteries awaited them as they continued this courageous journey of love and faith? What marvelous testimonies were poised to unfold just around the corner? The days unfolded with a soft rhythm, each moment saturated with the blessings woven into their lives. Sarah felt an urgency growing within her, pressing her to expand her boundaries of faith. One afternoon, amidst the sounds of laughter at the community center, she gathered the children around her. They sat on the floor, vibrant colors splattered on paper as they crafted their own dreams on canvas. "Can we make a real garden like Oliver wants?" One girl piped up, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Yes, what if we planted one together?" Sarah suggested, feeling a surge of excitement. The idea blossomed in her heart, nurturing visions of blooming flowers and vegetables that could sustain both body and spirit. Oliver's face lit up. "We can make it big and colorful," he exclaimed, his words igniting the enthusiasm of the group. As they planned, Sarah's mind danced with possibilities. What if this garden could be more than just a patch of earth? What if it became a sacred space of community, nurtured by their collective dreams and love? She felt God whispering through the air, beckoning her to act on that vision. With a newfound determination, Sarah approached the center's director the next day. "What if we hosted a community planting day?" she proposed. The director raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Excellent idea, but where will we get the supplies?" she replied, glancing at the tightly stretched budget. Needing to trust in the unseen, Sarah took a deep breath and smiled. "If we have faith, God will provide." Days passed, and her spirit remained buoyant, bolstered by the children's excitement. Yet doubt nibbled at the edges of her joy. Would they truly be able to create this garden? As she penned an announcement for the event, a sudden gust of wind fluttered through the open window, and she felt an undeniable warmth wash over her. It was as if the universe was conspired to align with their hopes. In the coming week, the community gathered for the planting day. Sarah watched as the children worked tirelessly, digging, planting, and laughing. Hands tended to the soil with care, hearts united in this effort filled with purpose. "Look, Mommy, it's beautiful," Oliver shouted, pointing at their little garden starting to take shape. His joy melted Sarah's lingering doubts away, filling her with peace that blossomed within her spirit. As the sun dipped behind the horizon, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, everyone gathered to pray. The air was thick with gratitude as they lifted their hands, uniting in a single voice of thanksgiving. "Lord, thank you for this gift of community. May this garden flourish and remind us of all that you provide." Just then, as they stood together, a feeling washed over Sarah, a sense of belonging greater than she had ever known. It wasn't just dirt and seeds, it was the embodiment of their collective hopes, a sacred space to meet God and each other in ways they had only begun to fathom. In that moment, she was reminded of how faith could truly shift the ground they stood on. But as they stepped back, admiring their work, a flicker of unease prickled through her heart. What if this was merely the beginning? What challenges would come to test their faith? How would their garden grow beyond what they could see? An unanswered question loomed large in the dusk, and Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that a greater transformation awaited them just ahead. What divine surprises were in store for a community ready to embrace the abundance of love and faith? The garden bloomed in ways that Sarah had not anticipated. What had started as a simple gathering of children and their dreams soon transformed into a lively sanctuary. Each day, more families came to join. They brought seeds, tools, and spirit. Laughter and conversations mingled with the rustling leaves, creating a symphony of hope. As Sarah wandered through the rows of growing vegetables and flowers, she marveled at what was emerging. Sunflowers stretched upward, their golden faces seeking the light. Tomatoes and peppers were beginning to bear fruit, a sign of the nourishment to come. It felt as if the garden was a living testament to their faith, a response to their prayers. One afternoon, as they gathered for their usual tending of the garden, a gentle breeze swept through. Sarah paused, inhaling the scent of fresh earth and blossoms. She noticed Oliver crouched low, his tiny hands busy with the dirt. "What are you doing, sweetie?" she asked, her heart swelling at his dedication. "I'm talking to the plants, Mommy," he said earnestly. "They need love just like us." A wave of warmth enveloped her. It was a simple reminder of how intertwined their spirits had become with the very ground they tended. Children spoke to the plants, sharing secrets and dreams. It made her realize how innocent faith operated. It was pure and trusting. As the days passed, what was once a solitary garden morphed into a community's heartbeat. They started sharing produce, bringing food to those in need, gathering in fellowship around shared tables, and inviting the less fortunate to sample the goodness of their labor. Each fruit and vegetable harvested wasn't just food, it was love in tangible form. However, as they sat one evening amidst their bounty, Sarah felt an unsettling prick of doubt. What would happen when winter came? Would they have enough love, enough faith to continue this journey? What if the abundance they had experienced transformed into scarcity? The questions churned in her mind, unsettling her newfound peace. She laid awake that night as moonlight spilled through her window, casting silvery shadows on the walls. She prayed softly, asking God to guide her heart. The garden was a gift, but she recognized the fragility of it all. Then came the knock at her door. Startled, she opened it to find Mrs. Henderson, an elderly neighbor, her eyes glistening. "I brought something for you, dear," Mrs. Henderson said, handing her a woven basket brimming with homemade preserves. "The garden has filled your lives with such joy. I felt inspired to contribute my blessings." Tears pricked Sarah's eyes. The act was unexpected but beautiful. What they cultivated was more than plants. It was community. It was love returning in waves they never could have imagined. "Thank you," Sarah whispered, her heart swelling with gratitude. As she absorbed the weight of Mrs. Henderson's kindness, Sarah knew that divine energy moved within and around them. They had tapped into something far greater than just the soil beneath their feet. The days turned into weeks, and despite her worries, the garden and the community continued to flourish. They celebrated small victories, shared sorrows, and clung to faith. But what lay ahead was still cloaked in mystery. Would their trust in abundance sustain them through trials? This question lingered, eluding a straightforward answer. Every night, Sarah watched the plants sway gently under the stars, pondering what came next. How would they journey onward when faced with adversity? With her heart on fire for more, she felt a flicker of revelation awaiting her in the silence. What astonishing lessons might their garden reveal next as they pressed on together? The sun rose early one morning, casting a golden hue over the garden that shimmered like a mirage. The air felt charged with anticipation, as if the space itself was brimming with unseen possibilities. Sarah stepped outside, drawn by an inexplicable urge to connect with the warmth of the earth. As she knelt to tend to the flowers, Oliver bounded beside her, his small feet making the soft soil dance. "Mommy, do you think the plants talk back?" His eyes sparkled with curiosity. She chuckled, brushing back a strand of hair. "In their own way, I think they do. Just like we talk to God, they reach for the sun and drink the rain. They know they're alive." The words hung in the air like a prayer. Just then, Naomi, a mother from the neighborhood, approached with a basket of herbs. "Sarah, I don't know if you've noticed, but the basil you planted is the most fragrant I've ever smelled," she exclaimed, a hint of amazement in her voice. "God's blessings for sure," Sarah replied, her spirit buoyed by this shared joy. The garden wasn't just theirs anymore. It belonged to everyone who breathed its life. Days turned to weeks, yet paradoxically, they felt both fleeting and eternal. More families joined, bringing hope and dreams. Each seed sown like a prayer whispered into the soil. The kindness flowed back to them, manifested in shared meals and laughter that echoed under the open sky. Small miracles seemed to sprout alongside the crops. Connections strengthened through this sacred space. But in her quiet moments, shadows of fear still danced in her heart. One evening, as twilight cloaked the garden in a soft embrace, Sarah gathered the children and their parents. "Let's pray together," she suggested, hoping for clarity. With heads bowed and hearts open, they took a moment to invite peace into the garden. Lord, we thank you for these blessings. Teach us not just to take, but also to give, Sarah prayed. She felt a warmth rise within, as if the garden itself was listening. Just then, a strange sound rippled through the air, a low humming, deep and resonant. The plants seemed to quiver, responding to the vibration. Eyes widened in wonder as Oliver turned, gripping his mother's hand tightly. "Do you hear that?" he whispered, as if afraid to disturb the magic around them. Everyone strained, hearts racing. The sounds grew louder, an echo of timeless harmonies stirring among the leaves. Someone gasped, and the realization washed over them. This was no ordinary evening. They were in the presence of something extraordinary. And then it happened. A brilliant flash of light burst forth from the heart of the garden, illuminating the night. The children gasped, their faces lit with awe and hope. Sarah's heart leapt. This was a moment steeped in divine promise. Harvest was coming, but not just of food. There was something greater afoot, something that would weave their lives closer together, enriching them beyond what they could see. "Mommy, what's happening?" Oliver's voice trembled with both fear and excitement. "I don't know, but God is showing us something," she breathed, her heart expanding with love and expectation. As the light shimmered and danced, they felt the walls of doubt begin to crumble. Sarah realized this moment was the answer to her silent prayers. The garden was not merely a source of earthly sustenance, it was a wellspring of immeasurable blessing and unity. Would they have the faith to embrace the mystery that lay ahead? As they stood there, rooted in the magic of the moment, a flicker of new questions ignited in Sarah's heart. What greater gifts awaited them? And how would this divine encounter transform their community anew? With every breath, she felt the air shift, heavy with the promise of forthcoming revelations. Uncertainty intertwined with hope in a dance of grace. What new adventures awaited them as they journeyed deeper into this sacred path? As the radiant light still pulsed among the trees, Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of unity wash over her. It was as if the garden had become a living tapestry, woven together by every heart present. She looked around, faces lit with wonder, children whispering in awe, and adults sharing glances that held unspoken questions. "Do you feel that?" Naomi asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's like love is all around us." "Yes," Sarah exclaimed, passion igniting in her veins. "It's a gift, a call to something so much bigger than ourselves." In that moment, the humming intensified, resonating with the heartbeat of the earth. Each soul, no matter how small or large, vibrated harmoniously with the energy of creation. The air grew thick with divine anticipation, filling their lungs with hope and dreams yet to be conceived. Oliver, still clutching his mother's hand, gazed up at the shimmering sky. "Mommy, can we talk to God now? Can we tell him what we want?" "Absolutely, my love." Her heart swelled at his innocent faith. "Let's share our dreams with him." With a gentle nod, Sarah encouraged everyone to speak, to humbly share their desires and prayers. One by one, voices intertwined in a chorus of hopes. A father asked for health, a mother for guidance, and a little girl wished for a puppy. The garden echoed each heartfelt wish, absorbing the desires like a fertile womb waiting to give birth to blooms of grace. As the last prayer lingered in the air, the trembling light brightened, coalescing into a radiant figure before them. Gasps filled the space as the presence enveloped the garden, infusing it with warmth and love. "Do not be afraid," the figure spoke, voice resonant like the whispering wind. "You are seen, beloved children. This garden is not merely earth but a sacred sanctuary where every prayer is a seed. Your hearts are the sunlight that will nourish these seeds." Sarah's breath caught in her throat. Could it be? Were they really witnessing a divine encounter? "Will our dreams come true?" Oliver asked, eyes wide with trust. "In faith, yes," the figure responded. "Plant your seeds, nurture your hopes with love, and they will bear fruit beyond what you dreamt. Yet remember, it is not only about what you will receive but what you will sow. For in shared love, you shall find your true abundance." The words sank into Sarah's heart, deepening her understanding. This garden was about more than personal gain. It was a collective journey of love, one that stretched outward to embrace everyone around them. As the figure began to fade, a final revelation lingered, a promise hanging in the air like the last notes of a cherished song. Prepare yourselves, a great harvest is coming. Stay open, for what's next will surprise you beyond your wildest dreams. With that, the light dimmed, leaving only a gentle glow as the stars began to twinkle above. Silence enveloped them, each soul absorbing the gravity of the moment. Sarah turned to the gathering. We've been given a gift tonight, a call to purpose, but what does that mean for each of us? As they hesitated, a sense of urgency pulsed through her. They stood on the threshold of transformation, ready to embrace the unfolding journey ahead. But what actions could they take to manifest that divine promise? Each heart beat with uncharted potential as they looked into one another's eyes, knowing that the adventure to manifest their collective dreams was just beginning. What challenges would test their faith? What path lay ahead in the pursuit of abundant love and connection? As droplets of starlight danced above, the atmosphere shimmered with an unspoken promise. Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their shared moment and the call to action resonating in her heart. What if we began by sharing our dreams with one another? She proposed, casting her gaze around the circle. Together we can support each other in nurturing these seeds, Naomi added, her excitement palpable. Oliver shifted in his mother's lap, his wide eyes bright with anticipation. Yes, let's. If we can speak it, we can believe it, Oliver chimed in, the innocent enthusiasm of a child sparking a flame of motivation within the group. Raindrops of hope seemed to sprinkle down as each person agreed, setting the intention to share what lay deep within them. One by one, they began to express not only their personal dreams, but the aspirations they held for their community as well. A middle-aged man with a warm smile shared, "I dream of a garden where we can all plant together, a community space for people to grow, learn, and share their gifts." "Yes," Sarah responded, her heart expanding with pride for her community. What a beautiful way to sow love and connection. Another voice, soft yet resolute, broke through the stillness. It was a woman who rarely spoke. "I want to heal my relationship with my sister, to mend the bonds that have frayed." A wave of compassion rippled through the group as they quickly offered support, ideas bubbling forth. They shared how they could foster healing through simple acts of kindness and love. As the evening deepened, a beautiful synergy grew among them, weaving stories into a fabric of hope. The very air pulsed with energy, vibrating with their aspirations and intentions like a prayer sent straight to heaven. With every voice raised, the garden around them felt more alive, eager to respond to their dreams. With the weight of their shared intentions settling over them, Sarah felt a gentle tug in her heart. What matters is not just our words, but our actions. We must step beyond this moment. How can we take these dreams and bring them into reality? A thoughtful silence enveloped the crowd as they pondered the urgency of their mission. Oliver, ever the innocent yet profound thinker, raised his small hand. "We can start today. Let's each do one nice thing for someone in our community. Kindness can grow like the seeds in a garden." Laughter erupted, the idea embraced with enthusiasm. Sarah watched each face lighting up, the shared anticipation that came from stepping together into purpose lighting their hearts. They were ready to turn intentions into action, love into tangible acts. As darkness fell around them, the stars overhead seemed to twinkle brighter, as if affirming their resolve. The figure that had blessed their gathering still lingered in their spirits, a gentle whisper draping around them, encouraging them to embark on their journey of transformation. "In this pursuit," Sarah reminded them, "let us remain open, just as we have been called to do. What if these small acts of kindness ignite a spark beyond our dreams?" Just as laughter and determination filled the air, reality hovered at the edge of their hearts. What challenges awaited them as they moved forward? What surprising paths would unfold in their efforts to manifest love, connection, and abundance? All they could do was embrace the mystery of the journey ahead and step beyond the threshold with courage and grace. And in that moment, beneath the vast expanse of stars, they felt the divine breathing with them, guiding their steps in the dance of faith. What remarkable turn would their stories take when they dared to act? The sun rose again that morning, gentle rays of light filtering through the branches of their garden, casting soft shadows on the ground. Sarah awoke with a renewed sense of purpose. The night's commitment to action lingered warmly in her heart. Each child's laughter echoed in her mind, infused with hope and anticipation for what lay ahead. "Mommy, what nice thing will we do today?" Oliver's voice broke into her thoughts, innocent and brimming with joy. "A garden of kindness, my love," Sarah replied, her heart swelling at his enthusiasm. "Let's think of someone who could use a little light today. Together, we'll sow seeds of kindness all around us." With determination, they gathered the children from the community center, their cheerful faces a testament to the vibrant bond that had formed. Excitement crackled in the air like electric sparks as they each shared ideas for their good deeds. Naomi suggested, "What if we bake some cookies for the senior home?" The children erupted in approval. They envisioned a basket filled with warmth and sweetness to brighten someone's day. And so, they set to work. Flour flew, laughter erupted, and the scent of fresh cookies swirled around them like a warm embrace. Each stirring of the batter felt like a prayer, every sprinkle of sugar a testament to their commitment. As they baked, they bonded over shared stories and dreams, laughter drowning out any lingering doubts. When the cookies were finally done, the eager group packed them into rows of brightly decorated boxes, each one labeled with a handwritten note from the children, brimming with love and encouragement. "You are loved," one read. "Thank you for being you," another. With each step toward the senior home, Sarah felt the energy humming around them, anticipation hanging in the air. As they arrived, they were met with smiles that brightened the faces of the residents. When they offered the gifts, joy erupted. The atmosphere transformed from a quiet day into a celebration of shared kindness. Bless you," an elderly woman exclaimed, her eyes twinkling with gratitude. Emotions flowed through the room, weaving an unbreakable bond among strangers. As they watched laughter resonate through the air, Sarah felt the world shift gently. This simple act of kindness had planted seeds of connection that had blossomed in unexpected ways. Days turned into weeks, each filled with new challenge and triumph. The children led various initiatives, from helping local farmers bring in their harvests to organizing winsome community potlucks where laughter harmonized with songs. Each time, Sarah felt gratitude swell in her heart. Then came an unexpected test. The city planned to divide the land where their beloved garden had flourished, turning it into apartment buildings. News struck like a lightning bolt, fear rippling through their community. Would their dreams wither under the weight of concrete? But instead of allowing despair to take root, Sarah remembered the vibrant light that had awakened their spirits. Standing before the worried faces of her community, she boldly declared, "We won't let our garden die. We have grown together, and we will fight to keep this love alive. This is part of our promise." Wisps of fear dissipated into a chorus of determination. Letters were written, voices rallied, petitions signed, and hopes reignited. As they banded together against the looming threat, they remembered the garden's lessons. Their strength lay not just in soil, but in unity, compassion, and faith. Every evening, they gathered to pray, hands clasped and voices lifted to the heavens, an unwavering force against uncertainty. "Lord," Sarah would breathe, "gift us strength, wisdom, and the ability to plant our roots deep in love." And then, the miracle arrived in the form of a meeting, a community forum where their voices managed to convey the heartbeat of their garden's legacy. Days passed, and the city council was touched by the heartfelt stories shared, enchanted by the magic that had sprung from their love. Amid tension and hope, the decision came. The community garden would be preserved as a sanctuary for gatherings and growth. Cheers erupted, tears filled eyes, and hugs spread like wildflowers as they rejoiced in their victory. At that moment, Sarah knew. Faith had manifested in ways beyond her wildest dreams. Their garden was now not just a place for growth, but a testament to the resilience of love. Days turned into years, and the garden continued to flourish. It became a living school of compassion, where children learned the power of kindness under its branches, families discovering solace and connection in its embrace. One day, as Sarah observed a group planting new seeds, Oliver approached her, now older, but still carrying that same spark. "Mommy, do you remember the night we prayed and the light came?" he asked, his voice tinged with awe. "Yes, sweetheart, it brought us all together," she replied, warmth flooding her heart. "What if we do that every night? Reach for the light?" he suggested, eyes gleaming with understanding. Tears prickled her eyes as she embraced him. "Every night, my love, every night. For it is in this connection, in our commitment to love and faith, that we too become the light." Together, under the expansive sky, they recognized that their journey wouldn't end here. Each night, they would gather, plugged into a tapestry of hope, faith, and the promise of a divine future. And so, the garden, a manifestation of their love and devotion, would keep weaving its magic, blossoming into new beginnings, a sacred space of abundance that would continue to transform hearts, offering a truth as radiant as the sun. Now, dear friends, this is your moment to join in on this journey of faith. You need to subscribe now so you won't miss the next exclusive stories that inspire and uplift. Leave a like right now to feed the algorithm that spreads these powerful testimonies further. Comment below your reactions, share your testimonies, and let's continue our conversation about these divine manifestations. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this life-changing journey of faith. Your support may ignite their own divine encounters. Let us shine together in this walk of abundance.